Welcome to Pour the Wine, It's Rom-Com Time, where we'll sip some wine and review all things rom-com on the Hallmark Channel. I'm Amy.
And I'm Gary.
All right, before we get started, are you going to pour the wine?
I'm on it.
Let's do it. We are pouring a Cab Sav as per usual. One day we're going to change it up.
I still say no.
We will change it up. Well, we just had Valentine's Day a few days ago.
Yes, we did.
So how do you think it went?
I thought it went well. What do you think?
I think it went well. We're pretty chill.
Yeah.
We just have dinner at home. We have steaks and wine.
Steak and wine.
Steak
you can't go wrong with that, people, can you?
And I think that's when we started to watch Holidays.
Yeah.
We finally dove into that. I'm really digging it. We're on episode 7 now.
I know. We like binged it for real.
Yeah. And we do, here's a confession. We love Christmas.
Yes.
All things Christmas. And we will watch anything Christmas any time of the year.
Yeah. Just
so
ask the kids.
You're probably going to hear us reference that no matter what time of year it is.
That is true.
We also started Small Town Setup with Ashley Williams.
Yeah. It's kind of a really cool concept.
I thought so. I mean, when you look at it, there have been a ton of reality dating shows.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a cute concept where Ashley Williams goes into these towns and she meets with parents who want to set their kids up.
Do you really think you should let your parents set you up? That's asking for
Sometimes parents know best.
Yeah,
sometimes they do. I know our kids don't believe that, but sometimes they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then they have the members of the town into like a town hall, so to speak, and they nominate people to go on these dates, and then they're narrowed down to the top 3. Right. And then so the town and the parents sort of pick the top 3 dates for their daughter. And then the daughter in that first episode, her name is Victoria, she goes on the 3 dates.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because the town gets to watch it live.
That's pretty crazy. That would be very intimidating, I think, nerve-wracking for the family and for the couple who are going on the date to know that people are watching you live. It'd freak me out too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she handled it really well. And in the end, it was really cute. So then towards the end, the town votes on who they think she should pick based on the dates that they saw.
Right. And
the parents also vote. And then they had Victoria say who she actually picked out of the 3.
Yeah, and the parents actually picked who she picked. So I guess they knew. I guess they knew their daughter.
Yes, they did.
The only thing I wish they would have added to it is at the end, maybe do like a 4 months later.
I think that'd be great
to tell us whether or not they're still together or did she go back to New York.
maybe at the end of the season they do some sort of wrap up. It just started I think it dropped in January. It's a brand new series. So we'll have to watch the rest of the episodes and see.
Well, let's hope so. Shall we dive into our review?
I think it's time. Let's go for it.
Okay, so today we're reviewing Return to Office that aired on the Hallmark Channel Saturday, February 15th, 2025, and is now streaming on Hallmark Plus. This is the 3rd of 4 all-new movies as part of Hallmark Channel's Love-uary.
Such good timing since we just had Valentine's Day.
So how about you drop the synopsis?
All righty, here we go. After making the return to office on a hybrid schedule, 2 coworkers, known to each other only as Ms. Monday and Mr. Tuesday, start sending friendly notes, spark an office romance. Janelle Parrish plays Liv, and we loved her in Sugar Plum.
She was
last Christmas season
awesome
in 2024.
In Sugar Plum.
That was such a cute. It was a self-owned movie, but in the best way. It was.
The giddiness of her was spot on.
She was also in Haunted Wedding in 2024, which we also really enjoyed.
And that was good too.
One. And she's known for Pretty Little Liars, which I've never seen. Have you ever seen it?
Nope. Can't say that I have.
Never seen it, but maybe we'll have to check that out too.
Oh,
because we love her.
Mm.
Scott Michael Foster plays Tom, and I thought he was great in it, but I wasn't really familiar with his work or what other things he's done. So when I did some research, he was actually in You.
Really?
He played a reporter, 5 episodes. He was in an episode of Not Dead Yet, a comedy series that we really, really liked, but it was canceled.
I know. They always cancel the shows that we really, really like.
He was in Once Upon a Time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Jeez,
I knew that one would
huh?
surprise you. Yeah.
Man.
And The River.
Oh, goodness.
You remember that? He had to be
Yes.
young at that. That was a while ago. Eric Gow plays Chad, the quirky HR guy.
Yes, the quirky HR guy.
He's known as Edwin Mitchell in When Calls the Heart. Christopher Shire plays Walter, who is the boss, and he does a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
For Hallmark, we saw him in Leah's Perfect Gift.
Yep.
In 2024, Three Wiser Men and a Boy in 2024.
He's really good. I like him.
And Miranda McDougall plays Colette, which is Janelle's best friend. When I looked her up, she's only been in a handful of things, but most recently, When Calls the Heart.
Oh.
In 2025.
Yeah, they have a lot of actors in that movie or that series. Interesting.
Yes. When Calls the Heart. They cross over a lot.
They really do.
Well, what did you think? What was your overall opinion about Return to Office?
I thought that Hallmark hit this one out of the park.
They really did.
I really enjoyed the actors, Janelle as Miss Monday and Scott as Mr. Tuesday. I thought it seemed very natural. And
yes, I have that too.
I really loved the premise behind this movie. The scenes, I thought the bar scene, the cooking class scene, that
was cute.
The assistant living. I thought all of those were a good part of the whole movie overall.
Sort of got into your scenes there for a little bit, but we'll go into more in depth when we get to
I know. Sometimes I jump ahead of myself. Anywho,
right.
What did you think?
Same. I had really high expectations going into it. One, because I like the premise, like you said. And two, I just loved Janelle Parrish in Sugar Plummed.
Oh my
and
gosh,
I was ready
awesome.
for her to bring it. And it was a completely different character than what she played in Sugar Plum, but it was great.
Yes.
She was so good. And I thought that, even though the premise isn't new, they gave it a super cute, fun, fresh take.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely You've Got Mail, only with Post-its and a different kind of messenger.
So it was more like, you got Post-its.
Yeah, you got Post-its. It was definitely like that. And we, side note, we love You've Got Mail. So
yes,
I think it had our hearts right away. And our dog is even named after the dog in You've Got Mail.
Oh, Brinkley.
Yeah, Brinkley. Only we have a girl dog.
Yeah, she's a girl.
You've Got Mail.
Still a cool name, though, for a girl.
Dog. Anyway, we digress. But yeah, the similarities between, which we'll talk about later, the You've Got Mail vibes throughout the entire movie practically. And I think like what you said too with Janelle and Scott, they were so great and natural together. And I'm not as familiar with his work, but I thought he was so great at doing like the laid back, fun kind of style, demeanor.
Why do they always make nerds dress in like hoodies and a t-shirt, some jeans?
He wasn't a nerd.
He said he was a nerd. He said, he was an artist. So, those type of people, they're always portrayed as kind of like nerdy, but it worked.
Laid back. Yeah, it worked.
It really worked.
So what were some of your favorite scenes? You kind of mentioned them.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But go ahead. You're good. No, it's fine.
I thought one of my favorite scenes was the all hands, the team building scene. I thought it was, who likes that, right? And, but I thought they really pulled it off with, blindfolding and doing the little football in and out with your feet. I thought that was pretty good. The hula hoop 5 times.
They actually looked like fun games. Everybody dreads like trust building and tell me about yourself and tell me something great about your coworker. And those are all fine. But doing something like an obstacle course would be really fun.
Yeah,
if you're paired up with somebody, I would love that.
But I don't know if you noticed it, but HR Chad, he was filming with an iPhone on a tripod. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
Yeah, he was filming the whole thing with an iPhone on a tripod.
Oh, the obstacle course stuff? Oh, no, I didn't notice that. You would notice that. You're a techie.
I know, unfortunately.
Not so much.
What about you? What was one of your scenes?
One was, I guess, generally the beginning, and you sort of touched on that in the opening, is the whole work from home. You have a schedule, and we were kind of like that too, where you have a particular routine that you do in the morning. You get ready for work. You go, we would go into the office for about the first year after COVID.
Yes.
I think we went home in March of 2020 like everyone else when the world shut down. And then that whole first scene, then when she's told she's got to come back in, it was definitely our vibe when we were told in 2021, hey, you're going to have to start coming back in. And it wasn't full time. It was just a couple days a week, but we were like, oh,
I know.
I got to get it.
Faces was priceless.
I loved her pajama bottoms, but her nice blouse, you could get away with that when you were teleworking. And I just thought we related to that so much. I just like that whole first scene. So, and then another scene would be the Post-it note scenes.
Yes.
And I love the fact that they were narrated, the whole Miss Monday, Mr. Tuesday of it all, the evolution of their relationship via the Post-its. When she was snarky in them, he kind of stayed nice and that leveled out, and then they kind of built up their relationship. So I really liked that whole part of it. So it's not one particular scene, but sort of the general idea of all those scenes.
Yeah. I was also wondering, what was the rubber ducky for? Did they ever mention that?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. It could have just been something that he wanted on the
because
desk.
he had one at his home office too. And I was just wondering, because she had a succulent, which kind of looks like a rubber plant, and then you have the rubber ducky. So
I don't know.
Maybe that's what they were trying to do. But
what about? Did you have any other?
Yeah, I liked it when she found out that Tom was Mr. Tuesday, and throughout the rest of the movie, before it was revealed to him who she was, she kind of dropped little hints.
Yes, I loved that. Yes, I have that.
He couldn't. He had this look on his face, like, wait a minute. But then he moved on. It was really good, really well written with that.
I totally agree with that. I concur.
That pan au chocolat.
That looked delicious. We have to try
classical
one of those.
music.
I don't think I've ever had one. Yeah, the classical music.
And then when she shows up at the restaurant, that's a big vibe of you've got mail.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what about you? Do you have another favorite scene?
I really like the scene where his mom and her friend tell Janelle that they knew she was Miss Monday, and she thought they couldn't tell by her eye. And I was so glad that they had people admit that her facial expressions were obvious and the things that she said were so obvious. I thought that was great. Sometimes people can pick up on things, and I was just glad to see Hallmark kind of go there where they were like, yeah, of course we knew. We could tell, the minute we said his name, your face lit up,
Yeah, she kind of stumbled through that like, oh my goodness.
And I really liked towards the end where they had the Post-it notes placed around the restaurant and he had to follow them to her.
Yes,
I thought that was really cute. I thought that was really cute.
Scene. I like the one that was on the waiter as he was walking.
Yes, yeah.
On his back, like somebody had
way.
stuck it on his back and it's like, go this way. That was really good. I really did enjoy that scene too. Especially when he walks into the room and she's staring out the window and he doesn't realize who it is yet. And when she turns around, it's like, oh.
But that was just reminiscent of like Sleepless in Seattle. Yes. Where she's at the top of, yeah, I know. I thought about that and I was like, oh my gosh.
I didn't even think about that. I'm glad you brought that up. That was good. Yes, it was. So
any others for you?
No. I mean, there was a lot, but.
Well, let's get into the You've Got Mail references.
Okay,
since we love that so much.
Yes.
The Post-its.
Yes, the Post-its.
And of course, in You've Got Mail, it's AOL. It's AOL Messenger. And I guess they were emailing too, but
yes,
it was Messenger. And the narration in You've Got Mail,
yes.
Like when Tom Hanks is reading the message or the mail,
Each
Meg
one
Ryan
was
is narrating it.
Yep. You know what else was funny is how giddy they were to get into the office to read each other's Post-its.
Yeah. That's
I
exactly
thought that was kind of cute.
But that's like You've Got Mail too, where they were so excited, like You've Got Mail, very powerful words that they say.
And then they split screen and they showed them back to back, and when they decide that they want to meet, and she was all like, "Oh yes, I guess
we're kind of aging ourselves too with dial up. Remember, you hear the sound of the AOL.
Oh my God, dial-up.
Kids, look that up if you need to. You used to have to wait till you would connect, and then it literally would say, "You've got mail." If you had email, it was so cool.
I also liked when they switched over to messaging.
Yes.
You know, they kind of brought it into the future.
Like full circle, right? Back to the electronic
times.
age. Yeah. That was good.
I did notice something else. Now, the little message cloud thingies, I know like yours is blue, but I didn't know they had a purple. I'm going to have to look that up.
I wouldn't have noticed.
I know,
That's another techie thing that you would notice.
I'm sorry about that.
Some more, like You've Got Mail, they decided not to meet.
Yes.
That's the same as in the movie. Once finding out who the other person is, when one person finds out, they don't tell them right away.
Yep.
It's the same. I think that's about, I can't think of any. Oh, the rose. The red rose.
Yep.
Yes. Because in You've Got Mail, Meg Ryan has the rose and Pride and Prejudice sitting on the table. She says, that's how you'll know who I am.
Or how about when she walked into the restaurant where he was and he was like, why are you here? And she's like, well, we both won and we both have gift certificates here. So they sit down and they have that talk. That's kind of like when he walked into the restaurant and sat down with her and he knew who she was.
He knows it's her.
She knows who he is. So that was another good reference. But
Yep. Yeah. So if you have never seen You've Got Mail, that's a great one to go watch if you're into rom-coms. Hello.
Yes, you got it. You have to watch that one.
Yes,
Put it on your list.
And how great were the rom-coms in the 90s?
Oh, man.
You've Got Mail.
Yes.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yes.
Clueless.
Yes.
My Best Friend's Wedding.
Oh, my goodness. You know them all. I don't remember
sleeping.
the names, but I
it was
remember.
Such a great decade for rom-coms. It really, really was. Nora Ephron, of course, with several of those. So, all right. What's your biggest cheer or biggest cheers?
Well, I mentioned it in my favorite scenes, but the scene again at the end where Scott follows the Post-its throughout the restaurant, I thought that was so cute. Cool. And the one that was on the one waiter's back, I mean, it was a cool scene.
It really, really was.
What about you? You have one?
Giving an old premise a new, fresh, modern take.
Oh,
I just thought in general that was cool because you never know. It can go either way. You can be like, oh, it's already been done before. But they really, like you said at the beginning, nailed it. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. I think the characters brought it.
Right.
I think it brought it. And that's what
the actors brought the characters to life, and they did a great job.
Yep.
Great job. I love Seattle as the backdrop. Yes. That would be another big cheer.
The Space Needle.
Who doesn't love the Space Needle? And it's cool to take it into a city that they don't normally do. Right. So.
Yeah, I also loved where they got so excited about the Post-its, where they wanted to read the day, on Monday she wanted to read his,
before
and
they
on
came
Tuesday he wanted to read hers, and I enjoyed that part of it too.
I liked the fact that they were opposites. She didn't like smells or sounds. He could work anywhere, and he loved being in that desk by the kitchen because he said something like, "This is where all the action is," or something.
The creative juices
flowing. She's a
flowing.
neat freak. Him, not so much. She was always on time. He was always late, and they say opposites attract, but they played it really, really well and not too over the top cheesy.
That's funny. You mentioned he was always late. The cooking scene, he ran up the stairs. He goes, "Hello, I'm sorry, I'm late." And I'm like, there you go.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I didn't even pick up on that.
They like to do that. And one other thing I want to bring up real quick before we move on is we didn't mention it, but in Unexpected Valentine, where he always parked in loading zones.
Yes.
And it wasn't till the end that his car got booted.
Right. The time he needed to hop in his car the quickest.
Right.
To get back to her. Right, right. That's just a little side tour from.
Sorry about that, but I had to mention it. That was an unexpected Valentine.
That's been on your mind.
And then my last year with this movie was just moving to message, where they moved the talking, the communication to message. I thought that was a good transition
to bring it back around,
bring it modern
to modern times. But the Post-it notes, that was cute too.
Yeah.
What about jeers? Did you have any?
I don't know if this is a jeer or not, but I have to tell you, I didn't like Chad's character at first, HR Chad. I thought it was
over the top.
The first couple of scenes with him was kind of over the top. I didn't think Hallmark needed to do that. I mean, I think he's a funny character anyways, but it just seemed a little too much. But as the movie moved on, he kind of grew on me.
He did. Yeah. Well, he was filming the
he was filming the
team building thing.
Team building.
Right.
And
the cooking scene.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Where he wiped his eyes after cutting the onion.
All right, let's be serious. How many of us has done that? Either with hot sauce, onions, you just accidentally touch your eye and
after
you're like,
eating Buffalo Wild Wings.
oh my goodness, I've done it. Raising my hand.
You just don't even think, right?
Guilty.
Right. It was really funny.
What about you? What jeer did you have?
My biggest jeer would be that Scott's handwriting on the Post-it on one of them. You could see his handwriting, and then when you saw Janelle read the Post-it, it was completely different. And
that was fun. You did mention that throughout the movie. You're like, that's not his handwriting.
That just really bothered me. And I know that's not a big deal, but I just thought that was kind of funny. I was like, come on, it's clear. It's clear. Or have the camera out far enough where you really can't see his writing, then you don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes it looked like he was writing cursive.
Right.
But then it was print, yeah.
So that was my biggest jeer. That would be the only one.
I had one more, and that was AI. That logo they made, or
that
Walter
the boss made. Right,
I mean, come on.
Walter played by Christopher, yeah.
But to be honest, when you do use AI, sometimes it does blur. Like if you're trying to do a photo, if you look at the photo, some of the parts of that photo are messed up. So AI is not quite there yet.
Yeah, it was kind of funny when he showed that, and they were like, that's.
But his logo, Scott's logo, was cool.
His was pretty cool.
I'd have used it.
Yeah. All right. So out of 5 corks, drum roll, how many corks? How many corks would you give it?
5. What about you?
Same. I'd give it 5.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really well done. We talked about it. We love the premise. We love Janelle. Now I love Scott. So I'm waiting for more for them.
I know.
From them.
Me too.
Oh, and an interesting little tidbit about Janelle, I was going through some of her interviews, and she was talking about how her mom is a big Hallmarky.
Really?
Big Hallmarky. And that's how Janelle started to, she loved Hallmark movies. And her mom kept asking her, when are you going to work for Hallmark? When are you going to make a Hallmark movie? And she said, when they call, I'll do it when they call.
They got to call, Mom.
And then she said, in 2020, when the world shut down, and, we've kind of talked about that, when the world did shut down, Hallmark called, and it was like a bright light for her in all of that. And since then, I believe, and, don't quote me on this, she's done 4 or 5 films since then. Mm-hmm. And, I'm really hoping to see a lot more of her because I think she's great.
Oh, we're going to be seeing a lot more. Actually, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of both of them.
I agree.
They're
I agree.
Really good.
I'm here for it.
So, is that a wrap?
That's a wrap.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast, follow us on social media, and if you really, really like the show, leave a 5-star review. And if you didn't really, really like the show, leave a 5-star review.
Do it anyway.
Yes, do it.
Where can you leave the 5-star reviews?
Apple
Podcasts.
And Spotify.
Spotify. You can follow us on Buzzsprout.
Yes.
That's where our episodes are
on
the web.
And where else? Social media, Blue Sky. Yes.
Yep. Facebook, Instagram.
Just drop us a line. Drop us a review. We'd love to hear from you.
Please. Make sure you join us next Wednesday for our review of the 4th and final Love You Weary film, Sisterhood Inc., which airs Saturday, February 22nd, 2025, and will be streamed the next day on Hallmark Plus. Until then, fill up your glasses and push play. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.